What does that enable us to do?
Most of them were live.
Not yet.
You stream it too. Sorry, I know. It's
Within seconds. So we're live now. Councilman Holmes, are you with us?
I am here.
Councilwoman Peters, are you with us?
I'm here.
All right, this is Councilman Victor Jones, President Vice Chair, stepping in for Medical Temple Moore today. Beginning of the 4 o'clock meeting of the City of High Point's Finance Committee for April 29th. Our first item on the agenda is item 2021-159, a contract with Tetra Tech, an expansion of the East Side Water Waste Treatment Plant, I guess. Who's speaking on that item?
Terry.
Terry Houck will be speaking on that item.
I hope he is. Or Derek.
Derek, are you speaking on that?
Derek, you muted.
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I can. I think Terry was logging on. This is a contract with Tetra Tech to provide monitoring and modeling services as part of the planning for the expansion of the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant. And at the list there is the tasks that will be performed under that contract. It includes monitoring and support, model setup, multiple models, Qual 2K, core mix, bathtub. They will also facilitate interaction with DWR to address technical concerns. And all of these modeling that's going to be performed, those were all requirements of the state. So that is why that's having to be performed. So we are recommending approval and ask that council award the professional engineering services to Tetra Tech in the amount of $199,791.
This is Terry Hack. I apologize for being late, but Derek made a good summary. The only thing I would want to add is that Tetra Tech is the same engineering firm that we used for the original expansion at West Side. And also they were the firm that we used that allowed us to expand West Side from 8 MGD to 10 MGD without doing an expansion based on their calculations. So they're very well experienced.
What was that MGD number you were referring to, Terry?
Million gallons per day.
Gotcha. Councilman Holmes or Councilwoman Peters, do you have any questions on this item?
No, sir. I'm good. Thank you.
No, I don't have any questions.
Go ahead. Oh, you do not? Okay. Hearing none, I'll make a motion. We approve item 2021-159.
I'll second.
A second by Councilman Holmes. Councilwoman Peters, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Holmes, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Councilman Jones, I vote aye. Item passes. Next item is 2021-160, the contract with Bushy Mountain Builders, the East Side Water Waste Treatment Plant. And Terry, I guess, are you covering that one?
Yeah, since I was able to get on, I'll handle this one, sir. Appreciate it. This is for the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant, preliminary treatment facility, effluent control gates. We budgeted to demo the existing primary sluice gates at the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant and replace with stop logs to allow for the ability to control flow to the primary clarifiers. The existing sluice gates were installed in the previous upgrade and are no longer functional due to deterioration of the stems and guides and stem brackets. The scope of the project will demo the existing gates and install new frames for the new stainless steel stop logs. Stop logs will be stored on site and installed as needed during normal flow. You won't leave the stop logs in. Only when you take the clarifier, the primary clarifier out, will you install them. And because, for lack of a better term, all the channels are the same, we won't have stop logs for every channel. We won't have to have that many. We'll just use them when we need them. Public Service recommends approval and asks for the City Council to award the contract to Bushy Mountains Builders in the amount of $299,000. Attached is the recommendation from DMP, and also attached to that is an example of the stop logs we'll be looking at. Questions?
I don't have any. Councilman Holmes or Councilwoman Peters? I can take that as a no. And then I'll make a motion. We approve item 2021-160.
Second.
Got a second by Councilwoman Peters. Councilwoman Peters, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Holmes, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Councilman Jones, I vote aye, and the motion passes. Our next item on the agenda is item 2021-161, contract with PO increase with Waste Management.
This is Terry Howe again. This is the biosolids disposal waste management. We need to increase the PO for waste management from 60,000 to 148,250 to cover for the additional costs of the biosolids disposal while the incinerator is offline for maintenance. As you know, we process biosolids by incineration. The incinerator has been offline for a month for routine maintenance and stack testing. Stack testing is required by the state once a year to set operating parameters for the next year. During this time, we always haul dewater sludge and hire a contractor to haul it to the appropriate disposal site. The requested increase of 88,520 is due to additional cost of landfill disposal costs while the incinerator has been offline for maintenance. Typically, we're offline for about a month, and it takes that long to come back. During the restart, the primary burner failed to ignite, and we had to order some parts for it. And so we've been down longer than we anticipated. So that's why we're increasing the PO to haul sludge. As of today, the parts have come in, and we've been able to initially fire the primary burner. Tomorrow we'll start the heat up. The heat up usually takes at least 10 days to a week, depending on how it goes. So hopefully in 2 weeks we'll be burning. Public Service is recommending that council approve the request for the increase to blanket PO 103343 with waste management amount of 148,520.
So we'll know at what point in time in the next week or two, we'll know when this thing's fully functional and operational.
We should. Actually, our plan right now is to begin the heat up tomorrow. They fire the burner first, and then once it comes online, you have to increase the temperature ever so many hours by only 50 degrees. And then once you get up to one temperature, then you bring the fuel guns online and you bring the sand online and get it hot. And once you get that up and running, then you can start start feeding sludge into it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you realize it took that long? We need to have us a ribbon cutting, or I guess it would be tissue cutting ceremony.
Well, it's not a good thing when you're drowning in something. So.
All right. I appreciate it, Terry. Any questions from other members of council? Hearing none, I'll make a motion. We approve item 2021-161.
Second.
Second by Councilman Holmes. Councilman Peters, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Holmes, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Councilman Jones, I vote aye. Item passes. The next item is 2021-162, contract Fairfield Substation Equipment, Siemens Industry.
Hey, this is Tyler Barrier. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So this is we are rehabbing Fairfield Substation coming up next year. Many of the lead times for equipment have really been pushed out. So we're going to go ahead and purchase materials to upgrade this substation. As you know, we do all our own work, but this is just a material purchase for, it was 3 schedules in the bid, switch gear, circuit breakers, and relay and control panels. It's 3 different schedules awarded to 3 different vendors, but we are requesting that council approve the purchase of the materials so we can upgrade the substation.
Any questions from any members of council on this one? All right. Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve item 2021-162.
second,
A second by Councilwoman Peters. Councilwoman Peters, how do you vote?
aye,
Councilman Holmes, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Jones, I am an aye. That motion passes. Our next item is 2021-165. It's a resolution for the inducement resolution for Wendover Heights. Or did I?
Oh, yeah, they bring drive.
No, the paper agenda.
The bottom of the page.
Oh, it's not on the one Mary handed me. Okay. Item 2021-163, which is an ordinance budget amendment, Drive High Point Foundation grant.
Stevens on.
Yes, thank you, Councilmember Jones, and good afternoon to you and members of the committee. This item is a budget ordinance appropriating a destination development grant for the High Point Museum. The city is receiving $18,250 from the Drive High Point Foundation and will be using the funds for a traveling exhibit from the Grammy Museum about John Coltrane this coming fall, with the opening coinciding with the 10th anniversary of the John Coltrane International Jazz and Blues Festival here in High Point. The grant funds will be used for exhibit rental fees and related installation costs. I will note that the grant includes a local match of $18,250. Those funds will be used for marketing and promotion of the event and will be included in next year's budget. The Financial Services Department recommends approval of the budget amendment, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions from our fellow members of council? This is not anything from nonprofit allocations, just right straight from the.
This is money we're getting.
Yeah, we're receiving.
We're receiving the
outside
funds.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve item 2021-163.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Holmes. Councilwoman Peters, how do you vote?
aye,
Councilman Holmes, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Councilman Jones, I'm an aye. The motion passes. It does jump from 163 to 165 and that back down to 164 on the
Yeah, I
agenda.
don't know why we got them out of order.
Okay. Next item is 2021-165, inducement resolution for Wendover Heights.
Good afternoon. This is Michael McNair. What we have is one of our projects in the upcoming action plan is going to involve the use of multifamily housing revenue bonds. And the developer, Winfield Properties, or Winfield Forward, who you've had extended experience with, is proposing this development out on 5000 West Wendover Avenue. This will be a 216 unit development out there. Now, the unique thing about these bonds is that the city has no liability, doesn't affect our credit rating or our bond cap or anything like that. The funding will actually come from the state, but the city has to issue it. So it'll be sort of a pass through, similar to what the Housing Authority did. They issued, I believe, $11 million in bonds for Daniel Brooks, but the funds actually came from the state. The developer, of course, needs this resolution. This resolution basically says that the city will agree to issue the bonds if the state makes an allocation. So the developer is submitting to the state for an allocation of bonds. It'll be, request is going to be up to $20 million. And this is, as I said, again, there's no obligation, financial or otherwise, placed to the city. So we would ask that that you approve this inducement resolution so that we can submit it to the developer and he can include it in his application package. And I'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has.
Mike, what, you said that's out on West Windover?
Yeah, West Windover, where Windover and Morris Farm Road intersect up to the
Okay.
left.
And there's already a development.
There's one, Avondale Trace just opened this past December. This is further out.
Okay. All right. Any questions from fellow members of the council? All right. I'll make a motion to approve item 2021-165.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Peters. Any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Peters, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilman Holmes, how do you vote?
Aye.
This is Councilman Jones. I'm an aye. The motion passes. And the last item on today's agenda is item 2021-164.
Mr. Vice Chairman, this item is, you won't need to take any action at this meeting. We're going to have an extensive presentation on it at the manager's briefing on Monday. And then if you choose to move forward, you can take action at the council meeting on Monday night.
Okay, so all the other items will be sent forward to council for Monday's meeting as a consent agenda item.
Correct.
This one will be held separately and discussed
Yes.
at the manager's meeting with a possible action on Monday evening.
Correct.
All right. Is there any other business for today from any other council members? Staff? No. Hearing none. Anyone opposed to adjournment?